this okay?
Yeah, yeah.
48.
So record, start recording, and is it rolling?
Well, I don't know, like what came first? Your idea or the club? Or the band?
Really, the ideas originated quite a while ago when me and a friend were just bored of going to a lot of nights where the bands we played with we didn't really like the bands we were playing with, and we didn't really like the music that was played there afterwards. And then,
What type of music was that?
well, it could be anything. When you put on a bill.
What area?
What area?
I don't know, like where were you going to these clubs or bands?
Or just any nights where there were gigs on, really, like...
East London?
Yeah, it's mostly East London. I'd say most gigs, like, when I've played stuff south, not many people go to them.
Has it always been in just London?
Pretty much. I mean, I've only been in bands and stuff for a couple of years now. But, so yeah, it just originated with thinking we had to putting on a night ourselves because, because everyone else thinks everything was boring, and also it would be quite fun. And we came up with a lot of ideas then as well. It really started properly when I met Simone, and we came up with the initial ideas in like November. We came up with the title.
November?
Last year.
Right, that's 2014?
Yeah, 2014.
Cool. Who knows? Could be like 2018.
Yeah, we could have gone into the future. So yeah, it was like, we came up with a name, and just we thought of Power Lunches to begin with because we wanted somewhere that was very cramped and dark and claustrophobic. Because personally, because we're both in bands, they're the kind of venues that we like to see bands in and we want to play in. So,
or is that just because it's off the beaten track a little bit? Well, it's beaten on by the non-beaters of the beaten track for the most part, which is kind of a backwards way to
beaters
say
of the non-beaten track.
Yeah.
You mean like off? I'm not sure, off the beaten track.
Well, yeah, it was sort of like it is, a place where you could kind of show up with an idea and be allowed to run with it, basically.
Yeah, for sure. There've actually been a lot more like into even some of the weirder ideas. We had the first one that we decided not to go through with in the end.
Do you know those bad ones? What are the bad ones?
Not even bad ones. We had this idea at the end of the night. We were going to lock all the doors downstairs and then put a siren on and start shouting there's a fire, and then just have everyone freak out and try and get out. But then we thought that was quite like
dangerous.
Well, not even dangerous, but like exclusive. Like I didn't like the idea that one of the general themes of it was that it's like inclusive, and that the idea that there wasn't really any difference between you and the people playing on stage. And that's why I've been encouraging a lot of my friends to start their own bands and stuff. I think we're going to have...
We've got a little bit of a run-up
Yeah.
to how it started and why it started.
Yeah, well, it started with, we just, me and Simone are coming up with, we came up with the name of the night, Dim, as well, was sort of a double meaning of, like, it's sort of, like, dark in there, like, we're dark where we're playing the gigs, and also we're a bit stupid, which is really weird. Something happened as well with the title Dim, that this, guy from a band called the Homosexuals, this like 70s post-punk band, messaged on the Dim page saying that he started a movement called Dim, which was that he was really bored of like DIY punk, so he did DIM, do it myself, and then he said that he was going to make his honorary members, which was pretty sweet. But yes, it's just the title, and there's sort of a lot of other elements as well, having just bands that really we felt having like consistent themes running throughout the night, and having like showing films and even trying to show artwork and have performances as well as live music. We were going to get a friend of mine called Laura, who's like a dominatrix and does like bondage stuff, to do like bondage stuff on stage. And just try and get a general sense of the whole night and making it more than just a gig, you know. Making it like a platform.
How do you, sorry to interrupt, how do you curate, how do you find the...
I mean, it really is just, these bands, all the bands and stuff we've known for years, and the artists we've known for years, and it seems strange that people haven't been doing as much together and haven't been collaborating. And like another thing of the night was it being about, you know, all about collaboration, because the thing as well at gigs that a lot of the time it's entirely dependent on who's there as well. So it's I think that's a really interesting thing, and even swapping between bands. Like for the last Dim, we had this band called Callum Mickler come and they stayed here, and I recorded a song with them, and I was going to go and play just.
So Icelandic bands.
Yeah, Icelandic band, all-girl punk band called Callum Mickler. And I did one song with them that we were going to play live, but it didn't really end up happening. But that's like, for the next one, we're going to have my band, and also me and Simone are starting a band, so I'll be playing twice in one night. And then, so there's even this idea of maybe like, you know, Murder Act and Dogfeet playing, so like Rusty will be playing twice, and so I think it's nice, and it'll seem more like, I don't know, there's some kind of, and films made by people making the music and all that kind of stuff, so it's just feeling like, I don't know, that everyone's sort of doing it together, and really actually it's like quite, even though some of the themes are very dark, it's like quite a positive night.
There's a vibe of music getting heavier, like.
Yeah, I think so. I think in general I've been speaking to my friend Pip, who lives here as well. He's in a band called Prom, and like and he used to be in Manflu. But we were talking about things like music sort of going away a bit from sort of shoegazy, psychedelic bands and getting more into sort of heavier, like I don't know, kinds of music and sort of like stuff like that. Which
Do you
like
think it's like because of social changes, or?
yeah, I think people it's feeling pretty it's feeling pretty bleak at the moment, and I think people are really reacting to that. Like I think, and even not necessarily like I'm not sure how much it can really change anything in terms of that, apart from, and I think it makes for better work. The same with, I say, winter. I think it's always like a more creative time, and there's just something about London as well there, like not really being seen, and like we really want to. That's another thing that we want to do with them and have it is actually start a scene properly and actually having like sort of something to join people together, because for years there's been little like islands of activity happening, and it happened, and in so many other countries as well. There's really strong scenes like in Iceland and Copenhagen, and like I've heard there's like a really good New Zealand scene as well, but like but it not happening in London seems really strange, and I think it's time to start doing that. I think.
Cool. I think there's a lot of material in London, like a lot of, it's a stupid word, but like a lot of people doing interesting stuff, and
Yeah, for sure.
it's definitely not a dying scene.
Well,
Like not even a scene. It's like a
Way of life.
It's in a weird state now. I think. I mean, it has been for a while, but there's this thing about there's like this documentary coming out about like that sort of Berlin scene in like the 70s and like mid 80s, before the Berlin Wall came down, and all the stuff about that time, that it was so crazy and like almost like people weren't having a good time. But like I read some interviews somewhere about Berlin at the time and saying how like it was really horrible, but like that was the point. And that I sort of feel a bit of that with London, that it's like I feel you're constantly battling something, but I think it makes the creative work a lot stronger, and like I don't know, I'm quite excited for the next couple of years.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the fans and just a few words.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've made zines before, and it's a very nice sort of handmade process and quite quick, and like fairly cheap as well. And I thought it was important to give it away because it's something that people should just have, and I feel you shouldn't be too precious about stuff. Yeah. You should just, because I think people react. So I think that's one of the reasons it was fairly well attended, was because of stuff like that.
It just feels really authentic, like the whole look of it, like very fresh, but also.
Well, I mean, we actually thinking about it, we spent like a lot, like me and Simone spent a lot of time on the artwork for all the stuff, and like did put a lot of like thought into each. And I think it's about putting thought into every single detail, like having the zine, having the lyrics, because I wanted it to seem like there's a connection between all the bands, and it makes it seem more like that. And I hadn't seen it before at a gig. I suppose people have done stuff like that. But
that's really, really good idea, I think.
I think like for the next one we're gonna do like a release of all the bands that played the one before. Mm-hmm. So having like tapes, and actually maybe being able to have that free as well, so we can just give that away, and then over like 5 or 6 dims there'll be a collection of music, or like a collection of, and even do a collection of all the zines, like printed quite nicely.
Like a book or something.
Yeah, like both. And I think it's just about. I think it's about like documenting the time.
Yeah.
And like I wish that I had more people filming inside now, but then it's just one of those things at the last minute we didn't end up getting sorted out. But
hopefully next time.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the next one. Just been having different ideas for it. Working with an artist at the moment to do all the artwork for it. She has this idea of like. And then tattooing us. Quite
like a ritual tattoo.
Yeah. Just the drummer from my band, she has for a 5-year-old daughter called Artemis. She's quite cool. She's in what's it called? She likes to listen to Tom Waits and does makes weird industrial drum loops. There's another band that my friends are starting that my drummer's in, and she and her daughter came up with the title for like the band, maybe called Milk, but like MILCK, and then also been doing like t-shirt designs, which I'm quite excited about.
Oh, t-shirt design as well.
So she's been doing a lot of cool stuff like that. Yeah, she's a weird kid.
Sounds good.
Hi.